With 2024 in full swing, it's time to sit down and take inventory of all the co-op games we can look forward to this year. 2023 was an insane year for gaming, and admittedly, as we sat down to work on this video, I was thinking, I don't know man, it doesn't feel like there's that much to look forward to, at least in comparison to last year. Well, I'm happy to take the L and say I was dead wrong. After some extensive research, we found 36 notable co-op games releasing this year. 2 more than last year's list, no less. We'll start with all the games with firm release dates before moving on to the ones with vague release windows, and then wrapping up with some early access games that are probably making their 1.0 debuts this year. Just like last year, we'll be running through these pretty quick, just here to give you some dates, info, and move on to the next. That's more than enough preamble, let's go over every major co-op game coming in 2024.
In January, there really isn't anything major to touch on outside of the early access release of Enshrouded, a 16-player online survival title releasing on the 24th of the month. It's gotten good feedback during its demo, so if you want to check it out early, you soon can. Now, February is a totally different story with major releases dropping every week. And whether you're hyped for it or not, one of the biggest co-op releases of the year is Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. It's a superhero third-person shooter with 4-player online co-op coming to next-gen consoles and PC on the 2nd, and it'll have crossplay.
One of our most anticipated co-op releases of the year is mere weeks away, with Helldivers II releasing on February 8th. This is a 4-player online co-op third-person shooter following up the excellent first installment. The game is releasing exclusively on PC and PlayStation 5, and we can't wait to dive into it. Those February releases keep on coming, with Mario vs. Donkey Kong releasing on the 16th. This is a remake of the original Game Boy Advance puzzle game, and it features 2-player local co-op as Mario and Toad team up to take on Donkey Kong. Look forward to playing it exclusively on the Nintendo Switch.
Nightingale is a game we've been looking forward to for what feels like forever, and on the 22nd we'll finally see how it's shaping up. It'll only be in early access, but if you want to try it out, it's a fantasy survival title with up to 6 players online. Sons of the Forest is finally getting its 1.0 release date on the 22nd, but Gabe and I already played through the whole game when it launched on early access a year ago, and we can tell you, it was great. There's even more that's been added since then, so it's never been a better time to hop into this 8-player online horror survival title, only on PC right now.
The last game to release in February is Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons Remake, dropping on the 28th. This is a remake of the original title featuring 2-player local co-op and is being built from the ground up using Unreal Engine 5. It's set to release on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series consoles. March doesn't quite match the same onslaught of games as February, but there are some great titles releasing, starting with the Outlast Trials making its 1.0 debut on March 5th. This is a 4-player online co-op horror title that was previously only on PC, but will be made available on all consoles bar the Switch with its full launch.
Homeworld 3 is the long-awaited return of the sci-fi RTS series on the 8th of March, but it's bringing with it an extra little treat. The game includes a roguelike mode where you can play online with 3 friends called War Games. It actually looks really deep and helps sell the game to people who aren't usually into the RTS genre, like me. Coming totally out of left field on March 26th is South Park Snow Day, a 4-player online co-op action title. The game looks way more cooperative focused than expected, so even though I'm not a South Park guy, sorry to say, I might need to check it out on next-gen consoles, Switch, and PC.
Team Xbox is poised to have a very big year, and one game we're looking forward to is Lightyear Frontier. This is a 4-player online co-op open world farming game, and while there's no release date for this one, we're including it here because it's slated to release sometime in March on both PC, Xbox with a day 1 Game Pass release. We're skipping right over April and May as we couldn't find any notable releases during those months, but June does have a pretty big title with The Final Shape, Destiny 2's last expansion for the Light and Dark saga, releasing on June 4th. After the disappointing Lightfall campaign, we're praying to the Traveler the team is able to land a ship on this one so your boys can be tempted to return to Destiny once again.
We're already at the end of the firm release dates, but it's our most anticipated co-op title of the year. Shameless plug for our top 10 video if you want to see the full list. Warhammer Space Marines 2 is coming out all the way in September on the 9th to next-gen consoles and PC. It'll have a 3-player online co-op campaign, and it's from the World War Z team, so expect to be mowing down hordes in the best way possible, as a giant super soldier with over-the-top explosive action. And that's all the firm release dates, so now we're going to be covering titles that either just have the 2024 tag, or a quarterly or seasonal tag for 2024, or maybe we're just assuming it's coming out this year. No particular ranking here, we're just listing these in alphabetical order, so just a bunch of games we hope will come out. And that's especially true with this first game, 33 Immortals. It's a co-op action roguelike for up to 33 players online for Xbox consoles and PC. It'll be day 1 on Game Pass and just has a general 2024 tag, but looks like a ton of fun.
Aloft is a game that's been in the works for quite a while. It's an 8-player online co-op survival sandbox game with a floating sky island setting. Aside from a couple betas, we've yet to receive any sizable updates on development, so it still has a vague 2024 release window. One of the most unique games to keep on your radar is Baladins, a role-playing game that's doing things a little differently as it's more like a choose-your-own-adventure title. I love the art style here and the laid-back gameplay, plus it's 4-player local and online co-op. Here's hoping that 2024 window sticks.
Corekeeper got a ton of positive buzz back when its early access started in 2022, and it's had a ton since. So when the 1.0 comes out this summer, it could be worth gathering a group of 8 for this online mining sandbox adventure. Announced at the Game Awards, Den of Wolves is the next game from GTFO developer 10 Chambers. Opposed to a horror shooter, Den of Wolves looks to be a 4-player online co-op heist game, hoping to rival the long-running Payday franchise. Fingers crossed we see some real gameplay sometime this year.
Go Fight Fantastic is a game we checked out during Steam NetFest last year. It's a hack-and-slash title featuring 3-player co-op both online and local. It has a really fun art style, and we both came away pretty positive about it. It's slated to release on PC sometime in the first quarter of the year, so hopefully we get some news on that real soon. Up next is Hyper Light Breaker. This is a 3-player online co-op roguelite which follows up the excellent Hyper Light Drifter. It's launching onto early access on PC sometime this year, and it's easily one of our most anticipated titles of 2024.
Another game unveiled at the Game Awards was Light No Fire. This is an open-world fantasy game coming from the team behind No Man's Sky. It looks to feature 4-player online co-op. Chances are slim it releases this year, but it looks really freaking cool. The Outlast Trial might not be the scariest game we play in 2024, as Little Nightmares 3 is set to drag us into the world of children's nightmares sometime later this year. Please help me. It features 2-player online co-op and is set to release on every platform.
After playing Armored Core 6, I'm dying to play a co-op mech game, and Mecha Break might be exactly what I've wanted. While the game will feature various PvP modes, it also looks to feature a 3 to 6 player online co-op mode where you venture off to do specialized missions with your squad. No release window just yet, but I'm confident this one will hit sometime this year. If you want a game to add to your wishlist, then listen to this. Rah Rah Boom is a 4-player local co-op beat-em-up starring ninja cheerleaders from space in a fight to save humanity. Yeah, their words, not mine. It doesn't have a release window just yet, but here's hoping that crazy premise is enough to manifest it into this year.
A game that we've been harping on since we played it last year when it dropped into early access, Ravenswatch. It's a 3-player online action roguelike projected for its 1.0 in quarter 3 of 2024, and is one you'll want to have circled in your calendar when it does drop. Up next is Rotwood, a 4-player hack and slash featuring both online and local co-op. This one comes from the team behind Don't Starve. It has a cool art style, and we're dying to hear any news on it. Fingers crossed it does launch into early access this year.
Sentry is a game we've mentioned in our monthly series plenty of times. It's a first-person tower defense title featuring 2-player online co-op. It's slated to launch onto early access sometime in the first quarter of the year, so hopefully we'll hit you as that release announcement in the monthly real soon. So be sure to subscribe and watch the monthly, of course. Another title we were lucky enough to demo during last year's Steam NetFest was Surmount, a simple climbing simulator featuring 2-player local co-op. It's a silly faceless game that has a lot of heart. It only has a vague 2024 window, but be sure to add it to your wishlist nonetheless. From the developers of Warframe, we're getting Soulframe, and ignoring their ability to title things, these guys know how to make a video game. Soulframe looks to be a fantasy MMORPG version of the sci-fi based Warframe and currently has a late 2024 window.
Cult indie classic Streets of Rogue is getting a sequel in Streets of Rogue 2 with both local and online 4-player co-op and a 2024 tag. There's a lot going on here, but it looks like some sort of RPG sandbox where you cause as much chaos as possible, and hey, that's what video games are all about.
Toxic Crusaders is a 4-player local co-op beat-em-up based on the classic 90s cartoon series. It follows the resurgence of co-op beat-em-ups after the success of Shredder's Revenge. No release window just yet, but it will come to all platforms on release. Next up is the First Descendant, a 4-player online co-op looter shooter set in a sci-fi setting and being powered by Unreal Engine 5. Expect some flashy as-a-suit combat when it launches on all platforms bar the Switch sometime this summer. Nearing the end of our list, but we still have a couple bangers to talk about, starting with Towerborne. This is a 4-player RPG beat-em-up featuring both local and online co-op. It comes from the team behind the Banner Saga series, so the amazing art style shouldn't be a surprise. No release window just yet, but we're hopeful it comes out this year.
Easily one of the coolest announcements from the Game Awards this year was Windblown, a 3-player fast-paced action roguelite from the devs behind Dead Cells, one of the best roguelites in existence. It's coming into early access this summer. And to finish it all off, we have 2 games that we expect to release into 1.0 this year, not because the devs have told us so, but because, come on, they just need to release already. Valheim is a 10-player online co-op survival title set in a procedurally generated Viking world that took the world by storm back in February of 2021, almost 3 years ago. Bring us 1.0 to PC and Xbox this year, pretty please, Irongate. V Rising is an open-world vampire survival game with amazing action, boss battles, base building, and of course co-op. It was literally our favorite co-op game of 2022, thanks to its early access release in May of that year, but we're fully ready to revisit it with our fingers crossed for a 1.0 release in 2024.
Thanks for watching, guys. We're very excited for another year of the channel and bringing you reviews, news, and all things co-op. If that sounds cool to you, make sure you subscribe, and if you want to go the extra mile, follow us on our socials or join our Discord server. If there's a game we missed on here, sound off in the comments below. Otherwise, we'll catch you next time on another episode of The Co-op Bros.